kia ora, whakalofa and welcome back to this week's podcast episode. I am so excited to get into it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can probably see my background's changed a little bit. I have made a little makeshift office because our house got flooded last week, which is freaking crazy. One of the nights it was like raining that night. And I was like, oh my gosh, the rain's like really loud tonight, but I like it. I love rainy days. So I was like, nice. Anyways, Metz was working late. He was doing overtime. He comes home at like 1, I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and he like rings the doorbell. And I'm like, annoyed because I'm like, why doesn't he have a freaking keys? So I had to get out of bed to answer the door. And I like put my one foot down. I was like, wait, it doesn't feel right, this carpet. Put my second foot down and I like looked down. I was like, oh my gosh, like it's flooded. Ran to the door, opened the door up. I was like, honey, I think our house is flooded. He's like, yeah, there's water coming out of the garage. I'm like, oh my gosh. Run through the house, find where it is. It was our kitchen hot water tap burst. So obviously turned off the water, and then we were just like walking through puddles and puddles of water through our whole, lucky we have 2 levels, right? Because the whole downstairs was just like flooded. So we brought like our bed and stuff upstairs and slept upstairs. So that was really, really lucky that we have 2 stories. But yeah, just yesterday they finished drying it all out. So it took like over a week to dry it all out. Skirting boards are out, carpets out. It's just honestly, so hopefully next week they can come in, put the skirting boards back in and the carpet will be good. It will have our house back. It's definitely was very interesting. But I've been spring cleaning. I'm like, since the house is flooded, start chucking stuff out that we don't need and clearing things up and reducing our space and stuff like that. So I've actually really enjoyed that. If you know, I do enjoy a good clean and clear out. And I like to think of myself as a minimalist. Anyways, that's not what this week's podcast is about. This week's podcast is about why you may need new friends. And if you, like, when I say that, or when you saw this podcast title and you clicked into it and you felt something in your body and your gut, wherever you felt it, that's probably an inkling that you need new friends. That probably gives you an idea that, it hits, it resonates. You may need new friends. You are a product of your environment, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Here's all the quotes coming off my head. I was like, what are those quotes that I always say? I know they're all quotes, but actually, think about it. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? You're a product of your environment. So you are the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. So, sit with that. That really makes me, whenever I hear that, you're the average of the 5 people, you hang around most. I think about the 5 people I hang around most. I'm like, do I want to be like them? Do I want to, do I want to be like them? That's it, right? And I talk about this story in my coaching program. I always say, check your village, check the people around you and stuff. But I talk about a story when I first moved to Melbourne. So when I first moved to Melbourne, or I ran away and got to Melbourne, I was applying for any jobs and every jobs. And I got a job, like the quickest I've ever got was like within a week or something like that. Started at this new job, and it was in sales. I had no idea it was in sales. I didn't know what the hell it was. I was just applying for anything and everything. It wasn't until I got through the training and I was like, what? So I'm selling health insurance? And that was just, I was in a bad place at the time. So just nothing was registering as fast as it would nowadays. My mind was all over the place. Anyways, this job was very sales focused. If you worked in sales, it's all about money, 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 very money driven. There's if you make a sale, it's like you announce it to everyone. You put yourself on a board, and you're on the top of the leaderboard. And every day, every week, every month, it's like who can make the most money. If you're making lots of money, then you're really cool, and if you're not, it's really bad. And you can see you have a board on the day, but you can also see the whole contact center, who's on the bottom. You don't want to be on the bottom, and your boss is on your back, come on, gotta make a sale. There's the stress of making sales. You're calling these people and they're like telling you to fuck off and rejecting you and stuff like that. Like the environment is very stressful. And I think it's really, if you're not securing yourself, you're not good in yourself, and then you're calling these people and they're like fucking telling you to fuck off and, shit like that, and not really being nice, that's really going to affect you. I was in a very vulnerable place at the time. So you could just see me. And then I'm smoking a lot, smoking 6 to 7 packets of cigarettes a day. No, not a day. Packets, not packets, smokes. Damn, could you imagine if it was a whole packet? 6 to 7 cigarettes a day. This was when I used to smoke. I don't smoke anymore. And there was just like a huge gossip environment, gossip mentality. I would go out, I'd have smoker breaks all the time, hang out with people I probably didn't even want to be around, and we'd just gossip about work. And we were just so caught up in work and the people and work and all the things about work. And there were work drinks. It was like the environment was very, there was a lot of alcohol and drinks all the time. And yeah, just always drinking, going out partying. That was the first time I did drugs, doing cocaine. There was a big cocaine community. I don't know if that's what, you would say, but it was just a really, really bad environment. And I was crying every day. I was so depressed. I had hated, what I saw in the mirror. There was a lot of comparison to the other people I'd work with, not only with the money, but what they looked like. And I felt like I didn't fit in and I didn't know myself. And, this was after being fired as well. So, I just felt so rejected, ashamed, felt like a failure. I was really hard on myself, right? And then I was hanging around with these people who would tell me like, oh, you shouldn't wear that, or, you look, you shouldn't eat that, you're wearing, all those kinds of things, and trying to change me. And, then I was taking on their thoughts and their beliefs, and I didn't even know who I was at the end of the day, right? So that really was the situation. And it wasn't until it got to a point where I was like, fuck, this is really, really fucking with me. I think I'm gonna quit. And I quit without having another giant job lined up. I just quit. And when I quit and I moved myself out of that environment, I stopped hanging out with these people, because you only hang out with them because you work with them, right? I got myself out of that environment. It was like, wow, I, stopped smoking, or I just wasn't smoking as much. I never touched cocaine ever again after that time. I stopped drinking. I started feeling more confident. I started having better conversations and not gossiping about people. And, I started working on myself and my mind and all these things. And it just goes to show that, like, taking yourself out of these certain environments really makes a huge difference, right? Because you are a product of your environment. Well, you are a product of your environment, like I said, right? Your environment, what's going on? Your environment really primes you, right? For example, if there was always alcohol around and you wanted something to drink, it's like you're going to grab it because it's there, right? Or if there's a packet of chips, and you just want something to eat, so you're going to grab that. But if it was always water around, you'd grab the water, right? So it's just like, if there was always, I don't know, whatever, do you get what I mean? So it's like you need to check your environment. And when it comes to your friends, your time, your energy is very, very valuable, and you don't want to waste it with the wrong people. So just thinking about your current environment, is there an environment that you're in where you're like, fuck, I hate it here? Whether it's work, might be a relationship, the relationship you're in. Oh, fuck, like, I just, this environment's really bad. They're drinking a lot. I don't drink. I talk to them about it. They're not going to stop. I need to get out of it. The friends that are always partying every weekend, and you're like, damn, no, I want to level up. I want to settle down. I want to, have a better life and all these things. It's like, I don't want to party every weekend anymore. There were people, your friends are always gossiping, it's like, I don't want to gossip about people. I don't want to talk about people anymore. I want to talk about ideas and goals and dreams and all these other things. So it's like, either leaving that environment or even talking to them, having those hard conversations. You know what, guys, like, I don't think it's good to have these conversations. I don't want to be a part of that conversation. Don't enter me into this drama or whatever, stuff like that. So really checking your circle, checking your village, checking your environment, taking yourself out of certain environments, things that aren't, working for you, that's, not good for you. And you want to think about the people that you hang around as well, because you want to have expanders. And I was thinking about this because last weekend I had my sisterhood day and we were talking about our expanders. And there were, amazing women on there. My coach is on there. My accountability sister, Kat, is on there, and she actually spoke. She got the mic and was like, "Who's your expanders?" And she was like, "My expanders, my accountability sister, Leash." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're on my list of expanders as well." But it's because we're both doing the work. We're both leveling up. We're both trying to go deeper and deeper to finding out why we do the things that we do and all these things. And I can go to her and have really intelligent growth, up leveling, really cool. What's the words, conversations. So I had a list, and my list, there was actually 4 people on there. There was a list of 4 people, and I was like, damn, like I think I need more expanders in my life, to be honest. And sometimes it might be hard. You feel like you're in your environment with maybe your family or your partner and stuff like that, and they have a certain mindset, because you're pretty much conditioned by your family, your upbringing and stuff like that. So you learn everything that they've kind of taught you and all of that kind of stuff. And then you get out to the real world and you're like, actually, I don't want to believe half those things, or I don't know if I believe all those things. And it's like, you need to meet new people and expanders and stuff to know that, to find that, oh, actually, I don't want to think that anymore, because all that is what you've been brought up in. And it's not till you get out into, life, or, other areas of the world, you engage in different things. It's like, oh, what? Like you can do these things differently. You don't have to have a 9 to 5 job. You don't have to believe in that religion, or, actually, I mess with that religion more than that. And I believe that and this, and I don't want to believe that, I'm poor and I can't make millions of dollars and, stuff like that. I don't want to, I don't want to believe that I can't start a business and all these kinds of things, right? So it's like, you need those people as your expanders, whether it's books, audio books, a life coach, a therapist, a counselor, I don't know, a friend that's just been, doing the work more, or books. Like, these are the expanders in life. They don't have to be, actual people that you're best friends with. It's like, mentors and stuff like that. So being around that more, indulging yourself in that more, like really immersing yourself in those environments. And I feel like that's what I've done a lot of, is books, audio books, people on YouTube, just people doing amazing things that I just really want to be a part of. So really checking your circle and finding those expanders in life. But I think a good indication that, the people that you're around, that you need new friends, is that lack of support as well. Maybe you're telling them about cool achievements or goals and dreams you have and stuff like that, and they're not supportive of your goals or dreams, or they're trying to bring you down, or they talk about all the negative things instead of the positive and the optimistic stuff, right? I think just that support system, they're not supportive of you. Negative environments, you really don't want to be around people that are really negative. There's always going to be shitty things happening in the world, in your life. There's always going to be negativity. But it's like, why would we focus on that? Because what you focus on is what you bring more into your life on. So if you're going to keep focusing on the negative, you're going to keep bringing in more negativity, more bad things, more, but if you keep focusing on the positive, it's more positivity comes in and stuff like that. So yeah, those negative people gots to go. I think also thinking about your values, when your values are not in alignment with your friends, that's when there's that mismatch, right? There's that clash. So it's like having the same values, having similar values, knowing what your friends' values are and what your values are and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, the values, the interests, the life goals, stuff like that. And one of my biggest indicators was always how I felt after being with that person. So say you catch up for coffee or lunch or whatever it is, and then you come away from that time that you've spent with them, you come away, how do you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel like meh? Do you feel like, fuck, I just wasted a whole hour with this person, I could have been doing something else? Do you feel drained? Is your energy shit? Or are you feeling uplifted? Are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling ready to go, like chase your goals and dreams and all these kinds of things? How are you feeling when you're around them as well? You're kind of like, oh, this is awkward, this is dumb, this is not fun, I could have been elsewhere. Thinking about those kinds of things. And I think this goes for as well when people invite you to things. It's like really thinking about, like, do I want to hang out with this person for an hour? Do I want to go to this thing if it's a birthday or whatever? Or would I rather be doing, business stuff? Or would I rather, for me, it's always like, would I rather be doing coaching stuff, or do I want to go to this birthday? Do I want to go to this event? Will this event help me become a better person and get me closer to my goals and dreams, right? So just thinking about those certain things. If it's just like, fuck nah, like I'm just going to be sitting in a garage drinking with, friends, and we're going to have dumb conversations about same shit, different day. It's like, actually, nah, I'd rather not do that. And I'd rather work on my coaching business. But if it's, you're going to be in that garage talking with amazing people, having really cool conversations, being inspired, talking about goals and dreams, or about, I don't know, just fucking cool things, would you want to go to that? And I was thinking about this as well. I went to like this farewell. One of the girls from work left, and we went for drinks after work, and I was there, and I was sitting there. And it was quite late. I was there for like maybe an hour by this point. And then I was sitting there really being present. I've really been trying to practice being present in the moment, not trying to go future or thinking about what I've got to do after I'm here, and like really enjoying the moment that I'm in. And there was a point where I was sitting there and I was like, should I go home? Like, is it time to now go home? Because I got to go do some stuff, some coaching stuff. And I was sitting there and I was just thinking, and my evaluation was like, am I enjoying, this company? Are we having like, am I learning things? Because my word for 2023 was all about learning, just learning anything, right? And I was sitting there, I was like, am I learning? Am I enjoying this? Am I having fun? Am I benefiting from this? And then I was like, yeah, I actually am. Like, they were having really cool conversations and I'm just listening. But I was like really enjoying the conversation that was had, and it was really cool. And I was like, fuck, I love this. Like, this is cool. No, I will stay longer, you know? But if it was the other way where I was like, no, this conversation is whack, like I'm ready to go, then that's when I'd be like, okay, guys, like I'm off now. And I always find it awkward to be that person that just like stands up, like I'm leaving now, like by myself. But we're gonna do what we gotta do, and I think we just need to, in those moments, just really be like, do I want to be here? No, would I rather be somewhere else? Okay, I'm going. Like, your time, your energy, it's so valuable. Just you can get up and leave at any moment. You can leave. Um, and I think it's important, I think if you're listening to this, you're all about personal development and growth and stuff like that. But you need to see if there's no growth in that circle, in your environment, with your people, with your village, with your partner, then it might be time for you to maybe leave, or maybe find new friends, or to have those hard conversations. So yeah, really, you want to level up, you want to grow, you want to change. Goes back to values. One of my highest values is that growth, that level up. So it's like, my values aren't aligned. Sorry, like we can't hang out. We can't be friends. I need new friends. I don't want to spend my time with you, right? So yeah, I think you just need to really evaluate your friends and be okay, with spending your time with those people and stuff like that. Because like I said, your time, your energy is valuable. If there's, conflict all the time, or if there's always drama with this person and stuff like that, it's probably time that you need to make new friends. It's probably time that you don't hang out with these people anymore. If you're on different paths, if they're all on their drinking buzz and going out and doing drugs and all these things, but you're like, no, actually I really want to work on my career, or I want to settle down and have kids and really nurture my kids and stay with my kids and not party every weekend. That's just a sometimes thing. Maybe it's like, oh, I'll only catch up with those people when I do want a night out, and to just forget about motherhood and everything like that and all the stresses of life. That's the friend you kind of go to. And then you have your friend that you can talk about business with, and your friend you can talk about motherhood with, and your friend you can, so there's things for different things. it might sound a bit like, oh, so you've always got to get a benefit from someone and you're using and abusing them. But it's like, actually, yeah. It's like, yeah, like you need to have some kind of benefit with the person. What's the point in hanging out with them if there's no benefit to you, if there's no, goodness, if there's no positivity or happiness? They've got to give you something, you know. And yeah, you've got to, yeah, it's just got to be, it's got to be beneficial to you. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I want you to maybe think about who your expanders are, really reevaluate your friendship groups because they're going to make a huge impact on your life. If your friendship group shit, then you're probably not going to have a very good life, but you see some friendship groups, they're all killing it. It's like because they're around amazing people and they're doing amazing things, right? We kind of naturally gravitate to people who are on similar tracks. We're attracting our vibe, we're attracting our tribe, right? So just putting it out there. And if you're in a moment of like, fuck, I've got no cool friends, I've got no friends that are up leveling, that have the same values, that are on the same path and all of that, start attracting it, start putting it out into the universe, whatever you believe in, put it out there. Get those books, audibles, YouTubes and stuff, but start putting that energy out there. Because that was when I moved to Melbourne. I had nobody in business, and I started a business, but I was putting myself out there, and it was like I was meeting business friends and hanging out and getting mentors. And you can always rely on audiobooks and stuff like that. Get a life coach, come and get coached by me, join the community, right? Really building your community. And it's one of the things I love about Melbourne the most, is I've built an amazing community of people through the business and the work that I do, but just, in general, because you're away from home. So it's like, fuck, I need to get amongst this Polynesian community, because I'm not in New Zealand anymore, where you walk down the street and everything's Polynesian and, stuff like that, right? You're in Australia, where there's not much of it. I feel like there is a lot of it now that I'm in the Polynesian community, but when I wasn't in it was like, damn, where do I eat? Like, where do I get my poly food? Like, where do I get my festivals and my, stuff like that, my poly festivals and that? But now I'm immersed into it. So, I hope you benefited from this podcast episode. If you need to find new friends, how exciting is it that you need to find new friends and make new friends? And you totally can, just put it out there. But yeah, check your village. Always check your village. Keep continuing to check your village, because it really impacts your life. Your environment is, you're the product of your environment. Not the quotes again. But thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. Ka kite, koikia.